I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. What the Los Angeles Lakers have been able to do this offseason doesn't even seem fair, considering that this team has LeBron James and Anthony Davis. The Lakers found a blueprint that worked for them at last season's trade deadline, and all they have done is build off of that in free agency. I don't think it's an overstatement at all to call this Los Angeles Lakers team one of the biggest winners of NBA free agency this year. Let's go ahead and recap some of the smooth offseason moves that the Lakers have been able to make outside of their phenomenal draft. This offseason alone, the Lakers have been able to bring back Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, and even Austin Reeves, who they got on an absolute steal of a contract. The Lakers did all of this while also being able to acquire quality players like Gabe Vincent and Taurean Prince, and low-risk, high-upside guys like Jackson Hayes. So this brings us to the question, how could Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers make this already great offseason even better? Well, how does adding another high-upside, low-risk player like Christian Wood sound? Now, before we proceed, let's get a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's content is brought to you guys by Chime. You may think that a credit score is no big deal, but if you're dealing with a low credit score or no credit score at all, that could potentially be a problem. You see, in this world that we love so much revolves around credit. This is why millions of people use Chime's Credit Builder Visa credit card. Credit Builder is really a simple and much better and effective way to build credit. With Chime's Credit Builder Visa credit card, you are literally able to build your credit with everyday purchases and on-time payments. That's right, you can actually build credit using your own money. Get this. There's no annual fee or credit check to get started, and you're able to use this card anywhere that Visa credit cards are accepted. Your credit is a big deal, so you'll want to make sure to build yours with Chime. Just open a Chime checking account with a $200 qualified direct deposit to get started. Guys, for everything that you need, head on over to chime.com/coop. Again, that's chime.com/coop. Now let's go ahead and knock out this mandatory disclosure. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stripe Bank, a name member FDIC. Chime checking account, $200 qualified direct deposit required to apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. On-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Late payment may negatively impact your credit score. Results may vary. You never know what can happen on the night of the NBA draft, and Christian Wood is living proof of that. On draft night, Christian Wood's luck would start to take a turn for the worse, with him going undrafted after expecting to be a late first to early second round selection. Coming out of college, Christian Wood was a big-time talent. While he didn't have the most prolific college career, he did have a ton of talent and also a ton of red flags. In fact, he had so much talent and so many questions surrounding his work ethic that before he was drafted, one scout said that in 5 years, he'll either be an NBA All-Star or out of the league altogether. To add insult to injury and make matters much worse, at least for the moment, after going undrafted in 2015, his girlfriend would leave him. To quote Christian Wood, "I lost my girlfriend that night too. I dropped her off at the airport and never saw her again." That sounds like some NBA 2K My Career stuff. Imagine losing your girlfriend on draft night because you went undrafted. That would probably be brutal, but ironically at the same time, it could also be one of the best things that could possibly happen to you. Not only do you lose somebody who wasn't with you for the right reasons, but you also get the ultimate chip on your shoulders. Wood would find himself on the Hornets Summer League roster after going undrafted. This would lead to him signing with the Philadelphia 76ers, then the Hornets a year later. During this time, Wood would be on his grind. He would be in and out of the G League. Fast forward to 2017, Wood's time in Charlotte would be coming to an end, and he would find himself running out of options, as initially, he didn't receive any NBA offers. And it was at this point where it started to look like Christian Wood wouldn't have much of a career in the NBA. With reality setting in for Wood, he would end up signing with a Chinese basketball team. But get this, just about a month into Wood's time in China, he would be left without a team yet again. The Fujian Sturgeons would cut him before he even played a game for them. Him getting cut in China would serve as yet another brutal wake-up call and motivator. Christian Wood said once he got cut from China, that's when everything clicked for him. That's when he knew he had to turn the tables and be a whole different type of player than anybody said that he was. While Wood has gone on to have a more than solid NBA career since being cut in China, he finds himself available to be had yet again and likely headed for his 8th team in 8 seasons, which doesn't sound right to say considering that this is somebody who has become a double-double machine and is just entering their prime at only 27 years old. Just last season for the Mavericks, Wood averaged 16.6 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks per game, while shooting 51.5% from the field and 37.6% from the three-point line. He did all of this damage in just 25.9 minutes per game and coming off of the bench for a majority of the season, only starting 17 out of 67 games. Though his numbers with the Mavericks don't highlight his poor defense, questionable ball IQ, and attitude, it's completely undeniable that this man has talent. At 6'10", Christian Wood has a 7'3" wingspan, and as a big, he possesses that rare combination of size, skill, and athleticism. He can stretch you out to the perimeter and create his own shot, or he can finish at the rim with force using his elite athleticism. While there's definitely a reason that he's lasted on the market this long, there's also a reason that teams are still interested in him. According to Dan Walk, the Bulls and Heat have emerged as potential suitors for him. Now, while the Bulls and Heat have emerged as these potential suitors for Wood, according to Lauren Gunn, there's been momentum building towards the Lakers signing Wood to a minimum deal. In fact, reportedly, the Lakers have been doing their due diligence on Wood. To quote Dan Walk of the LA Times, sources say that the team has done significant background work on Wood. Coach Darvin Ham was in Milwaukee when Wood played 13 games there in the 2018-2019 season. Anthony Davis played with Wood in New Orleans at the end of that year as well. And then assistant J.D. Dubois was with Wood in Detroit during the 2019-2020 season. And also multiple members of last season's Dallas Mavericks staff have close ties to the Lakers, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Walk says that the team knows well what he has done, what he hasn't, what he can do, and what he can't. And while there are other big men available who can space the floor, JaMychal Green, for example, no one else has Christian Wood's ceiling. It's why the Lakers are in on this. He's the best player out there with the skills to best complement what the team has built this summer. He's most equipped to fill in as a starter should Anthony Davis miss time. Dan definitely brought up some very good points. Personally, I love the idea of Christian Wood joining the Lakers on a minimum contract. It's another one of those moves that oozes upside while having almost no risk at all. On top of providing this massive upside, it also provides a bit of stability or insurance, as Dan highlighted. As much as we all love Anthony Davis, we know that sooner or later, he's going to miss some time. And while Christian Wood isn't Anthony Davis, and nobody is, he can mitigate AD going down if he locks in and plays at the level that we know that he can. Remember, just 2 seasons ago, this guy was averaging 21 points and 9.6 rebounds a game. Sure, he didn't get those numbers in the prettiest fashion, but he still got them. In all seriousness, I would love to see what Christian Wood is able to do with his back against the wall yet again. I don't think that it would hurt him going to a winning environment on a defensive team. I think that would actually be great for him. A lineup featuring him and AD could potentially have ridiculously fun amounts of rim protection, skill, and length. I definitely think that Christian Wood joining the Lakers on a cheap deal is one of those things that has the potential to be incredibly mutually beneficial for both parties. After all, if Christian Wood isn't able to lock in as a Los Angeles Laker playing with one of the best players to ever play the game and a no-nonsense coach, then where in the world would he be able to lock in? What I'm trying to say is that I really do like the Lakers' odds of getting the best out of Christian Wood, whatever that might be. In the words of Jason Kidd, we don't need Christian Wood to come in and be the microwave. We just need him to be Christian Wood. It's pretty wild how Christian Wood can go from circling games against Anthony Davis on his calendar, with Anthony Davis just shrugging that off, to him potentially backing him up yet again. Lakers fans, though I think the answer is obvious, in the comments below, let me know if you would prefer Christian Wood. Apparently, there's been some interest in Biyombo also. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GETLIKECOOP, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.